really excited to say that we have recently expanded our homocystinuria fund to include organic acidemias. So we're really excited about that, and we really appreciate the opportunity to talk with everyone here today a little bit about a program and how our grants work and how to access those. And so we will move along. Okay. So a little bit about the Healthwell Foundation. I want to assure you we're not a fly-by-night. We've been around for a long time. We were established in 2003. We are actually headquartered in Germantown, Maryland, and we have a contact center in Frederick, Maryland. We opened our first fund in 2004 and have worked in over 85 different disease areas since then. And as of the close of the year, we were at about 185 active patient grants. So we're a pretty large operation, but one of the things that I want to assure everyone here is that when you call our hotline, we really do strive to treat every caller like they're the only caller that we have. So in terms of kind of how we operate, 100% of our donations do go to patient grants and services. So again, the actual grants that go to the patients plus the contact center and the operations piece of our program. We're proud to say that we've actually provided over $2.7 billion in assistance to patients across all of our disease areas since we started offering assistance in 2004. So what exactly do we do? It's a pretty niche area of services. We do copay assistance. That's kind of our big bucket of assistance. So when you have a treatment, you have insurance, but it's not kind of filling that whole gap. With our grants, you can help kind of bridge that and close that gap with those copay assistance. We also offer premium assistance through our funds, so it's an either or. So some patients find that getting a better plan, especially if they're going through the exchange, by us helping with the premium, they can actually get better coverage for everything associated with their health situation. In addition, I'm going to take my glasses off so I can actually read. We do provide some behavioral health services through some of our funds. We've had some COVID-19 related funds. We also have a pediatric assistance fund, which I'll spend a little bit of time on today because that might be something you all might be able to access. Because in addition to possibly a grant through our homocystinuria and organic acidemias fund. We cover some travel costs through some of our funds, and we have a vitamin and supplements fund for our CF patients. So we're really proud of some of those other additional kind of outside of the norm programs that we offer. We are widely recognized by leading charity watchdog group. Again, I want to assure you that we're actually real. We do get calls like that. Like, are you really going to help me with this? Are you really able to do this for us? Yes, we are, and we're able to do it legally, compliantly, and sustainably. So in terms of the grant process, to qualify for a grant, patients have to have some form of health insurance with major medical or prescription drug coverage. We do look at income. For the funds I'm going to be talking about today, they do go up to 500% of the FPL, and that's adjusted for household size and high cost of living areas. We do find that that tends to cover the majority of people who are really needing assistance. And then, of course, you have to kind of have the match. So you have to have the diagnosis for the fund, and then you have to be receiving one of the products that we do cover under the fund. We strive to really cover everything that would be used to treat a particular disease area, and that would be FDA approved or compendia listed. So basically, if it's a standard of care, it's usually covered under our fund as well. To actually apply, it's a very straightforward process. You can call the hotline, or there's online programs too. Advocates can enroll into a portal, patients can enroll in a portal, and the process is exactly the same as you would experience through the hotline. It's just electronic, and it's just you. But we do strive to make it as easy and friendly to our appliers as possible. In terms of using the grant, we really try to basically approve right away. So it's instant approval. Pharmacy card becomes active right away. We also offer direct billing services. So if your the office or the pharmacy needs to direct bill with us, we can handle it that way. And then our grants are for 12 months, and as long as the fund is open, patients are eligible to re-enroll year over year. This is just it's a little hard to read, but that's just a smattering. That's basically all the 85 disease areas that we've ever had. And you can see that under our metabolic disorders, we do have our homocystinuria and organic acidemias fund listed. And as I mentioned, we've recently broadened that homocystinuria. It was originally launched in April of 2017, I believe. It was just for homocystinuria, and we have recently expanded it to include organic acidemias, and that's with support from OAA, and we do really appreciate that support, and we're really excited to be expanding the coverage for the fund. It is currently open. You could apply today online. We do offer either the copay or the premium assistance through the fund. The maximum award level is $5,000. So basically, once you have a grant, you have a full year to use up to that $5,000 on the associated treatment costs and out-of-pockets. And again, we do go up to the 500% of the FPL. On the right of the screen, you'll see the treatments covered. That's actually a scrolling list. It's actually pretty extensive. So if you go on the website, it does scroll all the way down to the Z's. And again, we do strive to be inclusive and not exclusive on that particular product list. This is a little bit about our Pediatric Assistance Fund. We've awarded almost 5,000 grants since we opened it. This is actually funded by our individual donors in our direct mail program, in addition to support directly from the foundation. So there's no corporate donations in here for the most part. And again, this is, it's open to all disease areas. And we open this because we recognize that, first of all, pediatric care is sometimes really challenging, especially in rare and orphan disease areas. It's really hard to find like funds that help with really rare diseases and disorders. So we wanted to open something that would just be for kids, regardless of the disease area. And we do go outside of the copay piece. So we've done behavioral health services, we've done durable medical equipment in here. So if you would benefit from possibly, if there's something outside of the actual treatment costs associated with homocystinuria and organic acidemias, this might be an option for you to pursue. This one is actually only handled through our hotline, but if you give us a call, everyone on our phones, again, they're trained to be high touch and very friendly, and they'll walk you through what can be covered and what the process is for applying. This is just a little bit in general about how people find Healthwell. We do attend conferences like this, talk with different audiences, patient groups, advocates. We also reach out to provider offices and pharmacies to make sure they know that about our program and they can find us. So please spread the word if you know anyone who would be interested in pursuing some assistance through us. We're proud to have a lot of alliance of partners established. We do work with the Organic Acidemia Association and the HCU Network. As you can see, them first two listed. So we are really proud of our alliance partners that we have. They do help us so much spreading the word about our program and the assistance that we can provide. We also have an individual who's dedicated to digital media, communications and marketing. So we did post that we launched and expanded the fund for homocystinuria and organic acidemias. And we do talk a lot about our programs because we really do want to get the word of mouth out that we're available. We are a nationwide program, and so we are constantly striving to get the message out. We also have a real-world healthcare blog. We have kind of target topics that we like to cover each year. But we are always looking for opportunities to work with alliance partners to talk about their experiences, their conferences, what they're doing, their activities. I think it would be fantastic. The woman who is up before me, the registry, that kind of stuff is exactly the type of things we love to highlight on our blog. So that's something to consider. And it's very easy to register for that. If you go to our website, you can just follow it through. We do cover a lot of different topics, not a lot of emails coming out. We do, I think, about 2 or 3 posts a month. So something to consider if you're looking for just general information about all different sorts of areas. And I think that is the end. So if there's any questions, I'm going to be here for a little bit. I can answer any questions up here too. I think I have a little bit of time, or do I not have time? I do. I have a couple minutes. Yes.
So, the way your program works is it has to be partially covered. Because hydroxycobalamin is not covered for a lot, not covered under insurance for many of us.
Okay.
Can you I was going to say, can you repeat the question, Beck?
Sure. The question is that there's a particular product, and I'm not a clinician, so I'm sorry, what was the product again?
It's called hydroxycobalamin.
Hydroxycobalamin.
Very expensive. It's an injection. It's B12.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So generally speaking, under the homocystinurias and organic acidemias fund, it would probably not be able to be covered because if the insurance doesn't pay for first. So is it a standard of care, but it's the insurances don't really recognize it?
Correct. They actually distribute the wrong drug.
That's fantastic and so helpful.
It's the compounding.
Yeah.
So a lot of insurances won't pay for it to be compounded. But many of the insurances in this region, which we will not mention, if you actually get the 1 milligram per pill, they'll dispense cyanocobalamin, which isn't the right drug.
Okay. So, in terms of the traditional disease area fund, again, we have to follow the rules as a 501c3. We don't want to endanger that. However, there might be an opportunity under our pediatric assistance fund, which is why we wanted to talk about that particular fund, because the patient still has health insurance, but there's kind of a stopgap in terms of that. It is 18. It is 18. Yeah. But that would be for others with younger patients that they're caring for to consider. I do know one of my colleagues was here yesterday to kind of say hello to a couple people, and there was some interest in vitamin supplements and that kind of thing, which is what we do for CF. It's a uniquely designed fund in that vitamins and supplements aren't across the board not covered at all. So there is no insurance at play. So there is a possibility to set up a fund specific for homocystinuria and organic acidemias. So that would be an option, and I think that's something that I know my colleague already has it on my list to take it back to my team to say, what would that type of fund look like? How quickly could we get something? What kind of support would we need to actually get it off the ground? Okay.
So can I just ask one question?
Okay. Yeah.
So for the hydroxycobalamin, could there be a way for the families to get it covered if they submitted like a reimbursement for the hydroxycobalamin and then received like a denial letter? Or does it have to be approved to the insurance and
Again, under the disease area funds, it's the standard of practice for us that you have to have the insurance pay first, unless you're in like a donut hole for Medicare type patients.
Okay.
But I think the option of having an actual standalone fund for this particular thing would be a clean deal for us.
A really widespread thing for all of these.
Yeah.
That would be really helpful.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
It's incredibly expensive.
Almost $400 a month.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah.
I've heard recently from some colleagues in biotech that some insurance companies are starting to say they will not count any assistance through programs like this towards a deductible or out-of-pocket maximum,
Yes.
et cetera, which patients should be aware of. Can you explain that to them and tell us how pervasive that is?
I can do my best. It's called the accumulator or maximizer programs, but the insurance companies usually have it renamed and branded as something like, the Copay Maximizer, and they make all these fancy names. But basically, that's exactly what it does. It basically takes a manufacturer program. If they say, we're going to help you with $5,000 for the year, they use that up, but it has not applied to the deductible for the patient. We believe, so the majority of our patients are actually Medicare patients, but we are watching it on our commercial side. And are looking at ways to provide reimbursement that would not be as apparent as a foundation or a grant. From our perspective, our grants are a gift to the patient. They're not associated with any particular drug, which sets us apart from the manufacturers, but that's a really hard discussion to have with the insurance companies because you can't get high enough up to actually explain the difference. So far as we can tell right now, our grants are still contributing to the deductibles for the patients. That being said, we do ask if anybody has a sense that our grant is not being used that way, that they contact us because we're trying to, again, develop some workarounds. We do have the direct bill. So if you pay out of pocket, you can submit for reimbursement. We can reimburse the patient directly in addition to having our direct bill. But yeah, those things are a huge problem. That's another That's another conversation for another day because I get really hot about that. Yeah, it's really not a good situation.
Hi, Krista. I'm
Hi.
Kathy Stagney with the Organic
Hi.
Acidemia Association. And one of the reasons why I wanted to participate in this because B12 is on the list.
Okay, good.
So are you saying that if they can't, if
so the
insurance
ol-
denies it,
So
which,
it would be covered because it's a standard of care, so it hits our list. But if the insurance is not covering it, then we can't cover it.
so insurance can't, if they deny it, you still can't cover it?
Correct.
So if they cover it like with a copay
Right.
or something, then you cover it?
Yeah, then we could do it. So we can
Okay.
pick up the gap. But the insurance has to pay first.
Okay. I guess I didn't understand that.
Yeah, and that's for the disease fund. Again, if we can set something up for vitamins,
We're
that's
actually
a
out
little
of
bit
time.
different.
We are out of time and we are going to break, but I would like to thank Krista for coming. There are cards on the registration desk with more information from Healthwell. They came, yes, just like that she's holding up. So I would encourage you to grab one. They came before we could get them and came after we had already had our folders completed. So I would encourage you to take that because I know I've been in plenty of situations with the betaine and it's never fun to not be able to get what you need. So thank you, Krista, for coming this morning and we appreciate it.
Thank you.